You may have great ladies, but when I say guys, I'm using the American term. That means guys and gals. Okay. Anyway, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Roger.
Good afternoon, sir. Well, I hope you can sort of handle my sense of humor, because I hope you see the funny stuff we're about to say. You guys just about to get some special high intensity training. Now, so what's so funny about that? We'll take the first letter, special high intensity training, and then you might get a giggle. Just wait for a couple of minutes till 4 o'clock, then we'll get started. I've got a trade idea up here. I'm looking at, you can probably guess what I'm looking at, but I think the same as me and see what you've got to say. Trying to get people more involved and think and have their opinions. And once they become that sort of pain barrier doing that, they'll be able to move forward, sort of thing. Good afternoon, meneer Murray. Good afternoon, oom.
Goeiemiddag, oom. Hope dit gaan goed. Hope it's well with you.
Yes, we don't do that much yesterday, indeed. Yeah.
I see stage 6 is back. Damn.
Yeah. I'm be honest with you. I think you've got to prepare for the fact. As we get colder months going into June, July, August, the heaters are going to come on, which means electricity demand is going to go up, and you can guess the rest. And take it easy on the newspapers. They go to shock things like 11, 12. I'm not saying they're wrong. It's not possible, but don't just tone it down a bit from the newspapers. I think it can be a little bit irresponsible at times. But yeah, I still think we get a stage 8 or 2 out of it. Yeah. But rather than have it off the grid, then we've got some a serious issue. Not off the grid. I mean, the whole grid breaks down. I mean, not going off the grid. Yeah.
No, I tend to agree with you. The political gesture for this L, I can't recall the festivity, caused now another 7 major failures because they overrun it. I mean, it's clear.
I think a little bit is what you say at 4 o'clock start, but going back to that political pressure, I mean, the political pressure from Eskom is so horrendous. I'm worried they might, through irresponsibility, take the heat off them, do something irrational and irresponsible. And then if we get a total closure, I read a horrendous book about a terrorist attack in the United States on that. And when the total grid went down, then you have total anarchy. And you see, we don't understand, say we survived 1,000 years ago, but they weren't dependent on it. Our whole system, our whole banking system, our whole fuel, our transport, everything is dependent on it. And that happens, you won't get the food, you won't get the fuel to get out of the country, you can escape or whatever. There'll be looting, there'll be starvation. I mean, I don't think fear of God on you, but that mustn't happen. Even if you have stage 12 and we have to have 12 hours a day without it, rather than have a total grid breakdown. It's just quite a horrific story. Obviously, it's a fiction, but I mean, the knock-on effect and how dependent we are on it. Pretty dependent on internet, but internet fed off the, you asked whether it could have some sort of grid off the grid stuff on it. But it was really, I mean, it was, yeah, brings it home how dependent we are. You can't put fuel in because it runs off electricity. You can't do anything. Can't transport nada. You don't have any food anyway because you can't get the transport to you.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is you can't get rid of your sewage, you can't get drinking water. There's absolutely
Drinking water.
nothing.
point.
I mean, your basic utilities is not available, and that is the biggest issue.
Good point. I thought of that. Of course, can't give you sewage, the drinking water, and then that's life or death. Utility, absolutely. We are totally, utterly dependent on it. And you or some stupid idiot saying, "Yeah, well, it was 5,000 years ago," but we're not dependent on it now. The whole system is geared up for basing the electricity, to power it. And without the power, you're finished. And what do? You walk. Where do you get food from? Where are you going to go to? You know what I mean? Oh, it was quite it really brought home that book. I tell you what, it was very well written. And I thought, my goodness gracious. And it's like worse than a nuclear bomb going off. It really was unbelievable. It really brought home how worried I am. The irresponsibility and that grid shutdown, and they can't get it going for a few weeks, months, maybe another story, but a few weeks. Then we can have that'll be the trigger for total anarchy. It's getting pretty close as we speak. It really is. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, all right. I've got a trade idea up here. US dollar CAD. What do you think? What do you think? I presume I'm not going to say I'm going short or long. Let's see if you can think what I'd like to do with it. I've got Fibonacci is a bit of a giveaway where I want to go. So obviously I want to go short. But what do you think? I assume you've got enough money left over. You've got quite a few trades on the go. What do you think, guys? Let's get off the subject of the whole system breaking down and see if we can get a trade to make some money. What do you think? This is a seller, yeah. So I'll put it up and see what you think. What do you think of that? $100 a micro. Yeah, okay. Now, Vicky, this is what I'm trying to get through to people. It's very important. If you've got half a dozen trades going on, you might even have enough money for a 10th trade, but can you keep an eye on all of them? And have you got the time and the expertise to continue monitor many trades, number one. And number two, if you don't have enough free margin, after you've taken the trade, not before, you might squeeze in taking the trade, and then you can start risking margin call because you've got 5 open trades and the noise might just suddenly come down together before going back into the correct direction or wherever you're going, north or south, and then you start getting margin call. You'll be furious. So please make sure you've got enough free margin, but to have enough collateral to make up for the ups and downs, the noise, as we call it. But if none of you, well, I'm not going to be sending it out because we don't normally send out later on the afternoon because office thinks are going to be some, I don't know why, I don't agree with it. Guys who can't, I don't know, anyway, never mind, there won't be. Okay, so the bottom line is, if you feel you don't have enough margin for it, fine. You might have taken some profit in a couple and have free margin left, then maybe okay, as long as, of course, you like it. So that's the bottom line. What do you think, guys? Should we leave it? Because if none of the guys want it or none of the guys got the money for it, it's no more point in pressing on. Then we discover other stuff, trades we've got open. Because you haven't got enough money for any new trades, but pointless looking at them. You're pulling the trigger there, Marty. Hope you haven't got me in your sights. Anyone else want to join us?
Roger,
Yeah.
is that on the YS strategy? I see it's a beautiful
No, no.
momentum.
No, you can, no, this is a normal one. If it was a
Normal,
momentum
okay.
strategy, I would mention it. It might work on the momentum, but no, it can't work on the momentum. Listen, Anna Marie, it can't work on the momentum because it's
It's
between
short.
the blue and the brown. It's got to be above to buy or below to sell on the 1 hour, but on the daily,
Yeah,
find
just
out.
normal.
So it can't be. So it's not even a question then going forward. Is it EGS? Is it momentum? No, it ain't because it's in the neutral zone, so it can't be. Okay,
Okay, I see.
all clear now. So this is a normal one, yeah. I hope you understand that, Vicky and company. It cannot be an EJ because it's in the neutral zone. Right? Then we'd look at the hourly. Let's look at the hourly. We hadn't even looked at the hourly, so it couldn't be anyway. So I thought about going for it without looking at the hourly, then it can't be. The hourly, it could be a buy. This one, it's a neutral, and we're looking at a sell. So clearly it's not the EJS. No. Afternoon, dealing. Okay, so anyone join Marnie on this one? As long as you got enough free margin as mentioned.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay, that's good now. I'm getting this down. Okay, just give me a second. 135.44. Don't have to worry about the last decimal point. 36.21 and 3415. And I call it $100 a micro. Okay. Right, so there you are. If you want it, there it is. Going to take a quick screenshot of it to have it handy in case anyone wants to go back to it. Right, just wait for it to come up. Good. Okay, let's do a bit of a recap. What have we got at? AUD-JPY, what's the pretty last we looked? It's not looking pretty at the moment, but it seems to be holding, so you might come right. It tries to pop up, the sellers are coming in, so it might come right. Bit of patience, I think. Euro GBP, 88.36. Has 20 pips in profit, too close to modified, but this is going the right direction. Okay. What else we got? NZD-JPY didn't look too pretty last time, but anyway, see how that's going. NZD-JPY is a sell 82.46. Clearly it's above, so let that run. Hopefully it comes back clearly. And Euro USD, Ken's last minute one, which I did like and agreed with, and think some guys might have taken. We sent it out anyway. That was in that 1106 or better. Clearly that was pretty odd to get profit. So the ones in profit will make up the ones down. Pretty even Stevens. Read out the stuff to you this morning, basically saying that's what we've been saying for a while. There's a lot of focus on likely tapering interest rates or increasing or whatever, which is giving a lot of up and down indecision in the markets. Okay, no point looking at the US dollar. We call it the loonie, by the way, for a first loonie that I'm talking about. We just got in. GBP USD is giving some grief, giving us some jip. I like that word. We got in at GBP USD as a, where is it now? Oh, here we are. I think it was on Friday, 24.09. Not so pretty, but we'll see what happens. Gold is drifting, coming off a little bit as we speak because the dollar's weakened a little bit more. So it's drifting. We got the stop at 68, so we should still be okay. We're still hanging on there. Not that wide a stop, she should be okay. Anything else? GBP, CAD JPY. I think you've all modified your stop on that one. You should have done because that was a nice one. 99.94 sell. It's popped up a bit. You should have been stopped out on the modified stop. I said right about 99.40 is your modified stop. Clearly, it's got there. So if you did do that, you should have been stopped out. Which, oh, fair enough. You had a nice profit, over 50 bit profit, so that's fine. And at least it's released some capital to look at another one. But that one's just nice. Stopped out on a bounce. I'm putting a tick on that, so we keep referring back to ones you're not in, like the WTI. I'm assuming you're all out of that one. It's got pretty close to the TP. Didn't quite make it. So after I looked, 20 pips away, or 20 cents away, should I say. from 96.40. Didn't quite get there. It's a bit of a pity it didn't quite get there, but never mind. I think most of you guys are out anyway, so I'll put that down as a weak trade. No point keeping going back to it. Okay. Dollar Swiss franc, I think you're most guys out of that, so just one last quick check. 88.50 was the stop. What we're on the daily there. Didn't quite get there, but I'm out of it on a modified stop, so I presume most of you guys are. Another one that's went well. It's good stuff. And that's about the lot I think we've got out. Just the Microsoft. NASDAQ's doing its thing. Remember I mentioned this morning, don't try and jump in now. I've held on to my shoulder, but it might pop up a bit more and hit the 13,000. And then it came off a bit, as you can see. Well, get a little bit above that. So I was hoping to join it right about 13.1. Didn't quite get there. It started coming off again. Let it run, but I wouldn't chase it now. So that means Microsoft is actually doing okay. Got there at 290, roundabout, sometimes some a little bit better. So I think we're should modify the stop on this one, just in case some information comes out over the next few days and earnings reports like mentioned again this morning, in case somehow Microsoft found some wonderful earnings and it jumps up $20 or something stupid, and then you're caught in the crossbar. So if you've got about 290, suggest you put your stop at 290, and there's no problem doing that anyway, because you know you're over $6 in profit per share, which is nice. It's okay. I might do that myself. Let's have a look.
The earnings will be reported tomorrow on Microsoft.
Tomorrow, is it? Okay, thank you. So just bear that in mind. It's coming out tomorrow. They normally come out when the market's closed. So just bear that in mind. I'll just put the stop down there. There we are. So okay, so protected. Okay. Yeah. So it probably come out not when the market's open, but it's closed. You can't do anything about it. So if it's in your favor, what a pleasure when it opens. But if it's not, there's nothing you can do about it. So maybe if you are in Microsoft, just put it down to your break even. And if it comes in your favor, what a pleasure. If it doesn't, well, at least you're not going to lose on it, as I've done just there. I presume you all have an idea to go, or like that idea. And understand, not like it, sorry, understand it. If you don't understand, don't like it, don't. Make your things to understand what I'm on about. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, just please say, and I'll try and rephrase another way. If I can't do it, one of the guys here will help you out. Done it before. You know? I might just be wording it incorrectly. Gold, I'm very nervous at gold, just. Very, very nervous of it. There's so many fundamental factors influence it, which are completely and totally outside our control. Technicals alone not cutting at the moment on gold, unfortunately. I hear you saying you might want to buy it. You might make a good case to sell it as well. Either case, I hear you, but I just think it's too much outside your control dependent. You can put all sorts of lovely lines on the charts and you can be a whiz at that, but a fundamental will put that out to pasture, so to speak. I think probably just, you might miss out. There could be a bounce here, but I'm just a bit nervous of gold with these fundamental. Yeah, I think I've made the point. See what I'm saying, Vicky? Yeah. It's just, when you do something, you want to be in control. Fundamentals are completely outside your control, and anything could happen. I'm long on this. I've got a trade out long on it. I'm not long at the moment, already got out of it, to be honest. But I mean, what I'm saying is we have got trade ideas out on the long on it, and I'm leaning towards the long, and you're getting a better price. And I exactly understand where you're coming from. You've got a better price, let's take advantage of it. And it's on the support, and the buyers are coming in. Absolutely agree with you. If you're talking about a long, I assume you are. This is a great pullback to go long. Technically everything, what a pleasure. The only reason it hasn't is these damn fundamentals coming out over the next few days. And I don't know how that's going to be, how they're going to react to that. So if you want to do it, buy it. And where's the stop down here? Maybe down here. Is that too far down there? Too far. Make a tight stop, maybe, I don't know. Make it 1865 you just stop if you want to. Go a small position, take advantage if it does bounce. And if it doesn't, you're knocked out. It's not going to financially hurt you. That's the best I can suggest at the moment. Yeah, but it's not your fault, Vicky. Don't sit and turn out twice, it's my fault, the trade's wrong, or I'm scared of gold. That's just emotion. Sometimes it's your fault, but it ain't this time. It's just dependent on something completely outside of control. I don't know what mood I'm going to be up in when I wake up tomorrow morning. You don't either. So how can you expect to know what somebody else is going to wake up in? I mean, so that would be control. And if you don't care, just say, sod it, I'm going to take a punt on it. Why don't go to Monte Cassino or Caesar's Palace, what do you call it now, the Emperor's Palace, and sit down in a nice, comfortable place and get on a blackjack table, if that's comfortable with that, yeah. Okay, all right, so there we are. I've covered those. Obviously, it's a trade with trade ideas. Am I getting the impression that, for the feedback I'm getting, there's not a lot of free margin left over to go for it. But if anyone's got free margin and sees a trade, never mind everyone else fully on the market, doesn't make, never mind. We'll look at it with pleasure. Okay, but don't, I pray of you, have too many trades open, not enough free margin. Because it happens daily to me. I come on and the guy wonders why I stopped out. They didn't get to the stop. I checked first, but I'd say 9,900, overexposed, ran out of free margin. Don't let yourself get margin, okay? To be fair, it's like a free stop loss. You know what I'm saying? But still, it's a waste, especially if it's a good trade and you're not on board and it's successful. The other opportunity or option, the other option, of course, is to try and get a decent funded account. Because it's everyone's trying to fight this $1 trillion international market with peanuts finances, and like any business, you know, you're trying to compete with Pick and Pay in a tiny corner cafe. It's not realistic in a lot of ways. Try and get it funded. Give yourself, you don't have to have a lot, but something, at least be able to diversify. Guy's got a few $100 in there, and, you know, I mean, you can go in one trade, that's it. I'm going to go on about this a few times. I'm sure people are just not aware of it and become aware of it. Hopefully a bit of common sense kicks in. Oh, I see what you mean. At least fund it. It's a pity a guy has 500 grand simply because he can't diversify. He's going to lose his money simply because he hasn't diversified. And then, you know, it's usually the person least can afford it. And they don't know why. Well, you're underfunded, undercapitalized, the capitalist system. Bear that in mind. If you haven't, fair enough. Just be aware of it. Okay, so yeah, Microsoft's going well. The trades seem to be okay, either quiet, sideways, but at least not disaster. One or two have shot the lights out. Now that's good news. Shot the lights out, you know what I mean, very good. And yeah, so we're net ahead if you follow the signals and do the thing as you're supposed to without doing anything silly or whatever. But you should, in theory, be ahead on it. If you're not, well, maybe stop loss too close, got out too quickly, or you went long instead of short. I don't know. I can only speak to the signal that got out so far. Net pips ahead, and that's what it's all about. The bottom line, basically, we are ahead. Well, I'm ahead, so you must be. I'm not talking money, I'm talking pips. No good saying Joe's up 20 grand, I'm only up 2 grand. You might both be up 200 pips. You just had a bigger position on it. So I'm net pips long, I'm not long, sorry, ahead of the game on those signals. So I hope you're on the same. Okay, guys. Yeah, if you can't see any more trades, we've got a few out, etc. We can spend some time on discussing various strategies. We can go again on the EJS one, because I just want to clarify again. This one you can buy on EJS. Well, we haven't got to gold and commodities yet. We can go to this one. What the hell? Go to this one. First of all, you can't say it's an EJS because if it's the price action on the daily is between the brown and the blue, not the black, the brown and the blue. So if a trade idea comes out and the trade market price is there, it cannot be an EJS. It's got to be below or above. So again, we'll just explain it is below those two. So look for a short. Can we get an entry? It's quite simple. Go the hour. Is it below the red line? Yes. Ooh, yes, it is. So purely on an EJS momentum strategy, you can short that. Okay. Remember the rules: 30 pips stop loss, which equals to 50 Rand per micro in risk, no TP, and then put the trading stop in, keep that trading stop left in, so until you're either stopped out or the situation is it rises on an hourly close a candle above, a clear candle above the red line there, and then obviously then you close it. Those are the rules. Write them down, repeat them, whatever. It's not that complicated. You just need a bit of repetition to fall into place. You don't even need a trading calculator. I'm sure most of you getting short can put 62 and 30 is 92 without looking at the calculator, and you don't have to worry about longs. You don't 50 rand a micro, so you can afford to risk 200 rand, 4 micros, and no TP, and then just pop the trading stop. It should either stopped out, let it run, or it jumps above the red line. Or there's another alternative. It's going down so beautifully. You might say, right, I'll just maintain my stop loss above the red line and bring it down. Never mind if it's 30 or 20, as long as it's not close to 20. Close to 20, the noise will knock you out. Many ways you can work out ways to skin a cat, but the basic rules are it's got to be in the buy or sell zone on the daily. Then it's got to be, if you're going buy, it's going to be above the red line on the hourly or below if you're going for a sell. 30 pips stop loss, 50 rand a micro is your risk, and then no TP, and then let it run on the trading stop unless you're knocked out or it goes above the red line on a full out candle, and you happen to be around, not 3 o'clock in the morning, obviously you're asleep, and then you can knock it off, close it. Okay. Yeah, it happens. You know, we're not come up with some holy grail. You're going to win 90% of the time. That's not going to happen. As long as you have enough that you're making pips profit, that's the main thing. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care if you lost 3 and you lost 90 pips, but on the one you won, you made 200. I don't think you care either because you're 110 pips net profit. That's the point. We're all clear on that. Okay, good. But there you are. If you've got some money left over and you want to do a short on the EJS, there you are. Good. See how that runs, yeah? If you take it, let me know or whatever, and we'll keep it updated. Don't reflect, we've got enough new guys there. I think we all know the score. I think Nikki might be quite new. Nikki, remember, right click, go to templates, anywhere blank on the chart, and save your template. Very important. Put your name in there and then save it. So if you lose your charts, quite simple. Let's lose my charts, okay? This happens. Press some button, happened to me. I have no idea why. I lost the charts. Panic not. Right click, go to templates, and hey presto, you're back and running. Okay, simple as that. Okay, I think you've all got my number. Anybody not got my WhatsApp number has at least 500 rand or $50 and not trading demo. We can trade demo much you like, as long as you're trading as well live. And you haven't got it, just let me know and I'll put it on the chat line there to keep it handy to contact me direct. You don't have to get a live chat anywhere else. And if you do it through Trek, they'll have to send it to me anyway because they're not live to advise. Having said that, if you've got 2.5 grand or $150 or more in your account, I'll upload you to my VIP group on the WhatsApp. Okay, hope that's all clear. I think you've all got it, but it's quite quiet at the moment, so I'm going to put the economic calendar up for you, just in case. Doesn't do any harm, doesn't take long. Not exactly swimming in 20 different trade ideas we're going to cope with at the moment, so might as well do this again. There's your economic calendar. Obviously, keep an eye on it. I wouldn't print it otherwise. And here's the dollar index, which is still hovering between the 150 and 102 mark at the moment. Keep an eye on that one. Okay, and yeah, so I've covered that. Don't forget, if you want to find anything about these, are all called trading, or we'll call it what you call it, financial instruments. If you want to find any information about it, highlight the one you want to know about, right click, left click on specification, the information comes out there. If you're trading the international derivative markets on leveraged positions, all I ask, if you take the effort to come to the trading room and you are trading live, you know what the heck I'm talking about when I've just made that last statement. I'm guaranteed there's a heck of a lot of people who trade there do not know the high risk involved, do not know the leverage positions, what even margin and leverage means. Nochal, that is really like trying to drive a car blind, not a good idea. So all the information is there. You've got to have a basic arithmetical understanding, not maths, is a big word, math. Basic, the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, to be able to do this. If you can't understand what percentage means or anything like that, this might not be for you, because you're going to need, like, well, most things won't be. Most things require to understand percentage and be able to add and subtract and basic stuff, which you might think horrifying when I say that. Be surprised how many people are not getting the basic arithmetic. And that is a worry going forward into our economy, actually. You definitely need for this business. Not advanced stuff for the basics. You need a calculator, as long as you got the concept, fair enough. Yes, Nikki, let's do that. Right. Okay, let's just go back. What was it we just did? I forgot that. NZD somewhere. Anyway, if it's above or below the blue, not ignore the black line. If it's above, this we can't do. It's an apple anyway, so it's irrelevant. We're not doing shares. I think it was NZD CHF. Yeah, it was. Yeah, this one here. Okay. Is it below these two? Yes, it is. I know you've asked this, but I'll just recap again. So we're looking for a sell. Beg your pardon. The daily, it's below the blue and the brown, obviously. So we go to 1 hourly. There, it's tapped against. If it's, let's say you look at this and it is below, but it's right down there, too far away, then just ship a sell. But as it's pretty close up against that, you look to sell it and no TP, 30 pips is the stop loss. You're selling it, so you add 30 pips to the sell figure, not the buy figure, this one. So clear your stop with 0.5493, no TP, and then it's 50 Rand. So you can work out what you want to risk. If you want to risk 100, you put 0.02, 150, 0.03, etc., etc. And then the trading stop, if you don't do a trading stop, I'll show you how quickly how you do it. In a second, let's hide these away because it's not stable all the time. Okay, this one AUD, you do some JPEG. Anyway, whatever. You see, if you see along the line there, you see right at the end, you can see it on the zoom there, little icon, a reddish looking icon. It'll be red if you're selling, it'll be blue icon if you're buying, simple as that. Right click on it, go to trading stop, and then go across to excuse me, custom. And remember, these are in points, not pips. 10 points, 1 pip. So if you've got a 30 pip trading stop, the figure you put in there is 300. Okay? And then let it run till you stop now. And it'll automatically adjust for you. Are we all clear on that, Nikki? And yeah, when it's a sell and it's a buy, obviously it's 30 pips below, yeah, sure. In this case, obviously a sell, yeah. I'll clear that, Nikki, because that's what we want you to do, interact. I want you to be clear, not thinking, that's a silly question I asked. And next thing, you lost a lot of money because you didn't ask. Never mind, I promise you I won't laugh at you. What I might do if you say, I've got no money in my account, why can't I trade? I might laugh at you then. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm getting it more now. To ask another question. He was mentioning something where when you put your stop loss on the next like resistance or support line, do you use that method or do you use this method or both?
I'm sorry, you lost me there. Repeat. What do you say about say again, stop loss?
So then I think in one of the lectures they were saying like you put the stop loss in one of the resistance or the support lines depending on which trade you're doing. Do you use that method or do you use this method?
Okay, right. No, that's a very good point. Guys, please understand this if you're new here. This is nothing to do with the presenters, the world out there. This is an idea we came up in the trading room a couple of weeks ago, just trying some momentum alternatives. If you hadn't attended the trade room, nobody would have heard of this. It's nothing to do with presenters. They probably don't know about either. It's just something we call EJS. There's a guy called Etienne Hubert and WhatsApp me. And he said, what about for an idea? Let's just go with the momentum. Never mind all the fundamentals. Just have a separate trading. We can try out, see what happens. We looked at it. It's not too bad. So it's purely, if you haven't been to the trading room, you don't know what the heck we're talking about. It's nothing to do with what signals are going to be sent. It's purely something that happened here in the trading room, which we started ourselves here, the Trading Marines here, a couple of weeks ago. If you don't like it, ignore it. It's just something completely separate. It's like a club. We know about it, they don't. You've got to come and join the trading room to get the idea how it works. Just it's purely momentum, nothing more than that. Okay. Now, when you're looking for a stop loss, it's quite plus some stuff. I do my strategy. We're not doing the momentum, it's completely separate. I do my strategy based overwhelmingly on fundamentals, price action, which I get from the candle movements, because that's what the buy and sell are doing, and support resistance, primarily. The rest I find maybe a little active of Fibonacci. Trend lines I do quite like, but the major problem I have with trend lines is people put them in different places. So as a result of it, there's no cohesion. So I'll give you an example. That's a high there. Unless you're completely blind, you will see that's a high. That's obvious, completely obvious. Your 10-year-old, 5-year-old will see that. But the trend line, some people use the wicks, some people use the body, some people use the line chart, and you'll find trend lines in different places. That's why you wonder why it's not reacting to it, because the guys who react to it might have a trend line in a different place. So they're useful because that's got to be borne in mind. Fibonacci is nice to have, but mine is quite simple. That's it, basically. Okay. All the other indicators, don't get me wrong, don't knock them, far from it. All the other stuff out there, I have a problem with it. This has been doing for a while. They're lagging the price action. They're telling you after what's going to happen after it's already happened. I've used that example I've used the other guys said a lot of time before. You've got a barometer in your hand, you're standing outside, and it starts to rain, and you're getting drenched. But you look at the barometer and waiting till it goes into the rain aspect. The lagging indicator of the barometer tells you it's raining, and then you put your raincoat on. Meanwhile, you're already drenched. It's lagging, you understand? Rather look at the heavens, oh, it's raining, forget the bloody barometer, you get the idea. It's an indicator that lags the price action. When these moving averages cross or uncross, people talk about that, crossing and uncrossing, golden cross, devil's cross, and that, they're lagging the price action. We want to see what ABC, A, B, C, get back in again. And nobody can do exactly because there's so many variables. But we want to look some idea. And if it goes, we want to sell this. So we're looking to sell it. Let's say we're not talking about the momentum principle. Let's say the New Zealand is fairly weak at the moment. We know that fundamentally because I keep an eye on the fundamentals. And you join the trading room and you get an idea of that from yourself. And as it goes along, you know, you look at your economic calendar, which I've copied and printed for you there. Nothing big coming out on the NZDCHF for a couple of days or so. No worries there. It's come up and it's tested the 50-day moving average and it confirms it moves on. Then we sell it with a stop above there. Now that 50-day moving average in 200, why do I use it? Sorry guys, I know most of you know, but this is new. I want Nikki to do what people do, what Nikki's doing. Interact like this, preferably verbally, because it's easier to understand. But why do I use it? Because it's universally used. Why do I invest in McDonald's instead of that fantastic bistro? It's so French, so beautiful, and oh yeah. Because nobody's going to that bistro. Everyone's going buying that dollar. Whether you think it's junk food or not, it's irrelevant. People are buying it, so I'm going to do it. So, in other words, it's self-fulfilling. Trend's your friend until it bends. That's the little ditty you got to remember. And that's how we work. The trend's your friend until it bends. And that's, people follow that. So when it goes up there, they're probably going to look to short it, gives you momentum. Or if they went long, they might say, oh my God, this is going wrong. It's got there already, I'm going to exit. And if you're going long, let's say you bought here long and it's gone up to the high here, and you can see in the past that's the high. You're not going to hold on to that and off chance it's going to break through. You look up your ceiling. It's not a glass ceiling, it's a concrete ceiling. I hope so anyway, for your sake. So it might not break through. Why risk it? Hopefully breaking through, why not just take your profit? If it breaks through up, then you buy it again. If it pulls back, you're not on board anymore. And it's pretty clear. Just look up. Can you see that ceiling, guys? It's that bloody complicated. Oh, there it is, yeah. So not fancy algorithms and what algorithms you're using on the MACD. No, that ceiling's up there. Get out of the ceiling. It breaks through going again. If it comes off, if it's very strong, don't sell it down. Wait till it comes off a bit. We've got rid of all the profit takers. All the TPs have been triggered and set near the ceiling. Remember, if it's going on, they're sell orders, which means it's going to depress the price, comes back and hits maybe a previous low or something like that and bounces again. Then you get climbed back on board for another attack on the ceiling. That's not really any more complicated than that. But the thing that gives it the complication is not really the complicated, but even that's not complicated, is the fundamentals you've got to know a bit about, keep yourself informed, yeah. But the most difficult part of all is not complicated. It's human emotion. It's human emotion. And that's the stinker. And that's the problem of the last few years, especially after COVID. The escalation rate has been exponential, in my opinion, is an understatement of the retail market coming on board. And their strategy is based on emotion, not much, because lack of knowledge, or don't really bother to read stuff or get to know it. They'll just emotion after a quick buck, flying in of a promise of some sales guy out there promising the moon for nothing at all, jumping in purely on that kind of strategy. And that is emotionally driven, and that anything can happen there. And that's the difficulty we're having at the moment, is the emotional reaction. No disrespect, Nikki or Marius or myself or Brian or whatever on their own, but we've got millions of doing it collectively. Those emotions can move the markets in all sorts of extraordinary areas. That is a difficult moment we're having with markets. All right, fundamentally indecision. We're not sure about what's happening on the Fed. Are we going to stick the mortgage, bring it back, the pressure on the banks? That's an unknown. But still, some movements can be scratching the head if you're a rational type of guy, which some, let's say, Farney is. You see, why is that going on? It's just simply it's emotion. That's the thing you got to keep an eye on. So, bearing in mind, get to know your stuff. Don't make silly mistakes. Not have a calculator, overexposed, no discipline on that area, no free margin, risky margin call. You can control that. But what happens with human emotions is that's the problem. You know what I mean? You've seen people react to something, you think that's a bit over the top. And other times, there's hardly any reaction. It was quite important. We don't sometimes, I'll be honest, we don't even understand ourselves. So how can we understand everybody else? You know what I mean? Always think if you're married, you know, been married for 20 years. I have to say, I've been married for 20 years, my darling. Oh, it doesn't matter, my darling. Why'd you do that? If that person was honest, they'd probably say, I'm not quite sure why either myself. I know I've done daft things. What do I do that for? It's the emotion thing. That's the biggest unknown often in price action. For the rest of the time, we take a view on basement principle. We've been teaching the guys here without overcomplicating it. And so far, so good. We should be ahead of the game. And let's be honest, we're not doing it. It's either a bad run or emotions have taken over. Take the profit too quickly, modifying the stop loss too close, going long, you're going short, overexposing the other one, underexposing the other, in one of them, overexposing another one, that sort of thing. It's usually emotional human error. That's simple as that. Hope that's sort of a long-winded way, but it's important everyone understands it. Hope they do on that long rant, but hopefully that's a bit clearer now, Nikki. I think it's Nikki. Are you still there, Nikki? I think she's probably there. Oh, good.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Does that sort of make sense? I hope it did anyway. Did she swear the oath? It's a good point, because you're fairly new here, and that's a secret we usually retain for people who've actually registered at least 30 appearances here. Very good point. Well, she sounds like a lovely lady the way she's speaking, so we'll break the rules just for her. And quite frankly, I'm a normal heterosexual male, and she sounds like a lady to me, so I'm going to break the rules and give a shall we say, female favoritism, FF. They are Mark, hard luck. Poor old Mark, he had come to 50 before he got those little state secrets. That's why he's a bit resentful. Good to have you back, Mark. Good to have you back. What a welcome. Yeah. Sure. Okay, right. Move that down. We'll stare all the time. So try and do, because, you know, think for a while, I don't bother that much. I'm trying to get you guys out of the habit to stare at the damn thing, and that usually gets to you, and then in the end, you bugger it, I'm going to do something. And normally comes back to the wish the hell I hadn't. Never underestimate emotion. Look, that years to actually crack that point. We are, our gods, really, I hate to say it, my friend, is the dopamine. That's our god. Whatever stimulate that dopamine we react to. That's the chemical that's really in charge of us. I think you'll agree on that. You're in chemicals there, Fanny. Endorphins, dopamines. That's the ruling class. It is. When you think about it, it is. Everything's driven by that. That animal instinct of releasing endorphin, the dopamine, whatever comes first, that gives us the reactions of highs or lows. You know. That's, by the way, you'll know this, fine. If a lot of people don't know why heroin is so addictive, because what it does, it overtakes the molecule. You put it a lot better than me. Sorry, I don't know how to carry it. Apparently, what it does, it overtakes the chemical in the brain that releases the feeling of pleasure. Endorphins, dopamine, whatever, those, the pats on the back, when you do something well, pass an exam, you got married, you had a kid, or whatever it is, those chemicals are released and it gives you that high. Well, what the heroin does, it gets straight there, overtakes it. So you get that high, and then, of course, it's the only thing that gives you the high. And apparently, one guy was saying on YouTube, the high is so, I've never taken it, but I'll take his word for it, so extreme, you spend the rest of the time going back to it. And then the trouble is, after a while, apparently, you don't get the high anymore, but you get the opposite now, the down, the depression. So if you don't do that, the depression is unbearable. And that's why, because it comes down, it affects you physically. Sure, it's a mental thing. And then it made sense when it was said that when you get extreme depression, you don't eat properly and all that, which will affect you physically. And that's what happens, apparently. It's probably an ultra simplified way of putting it. But it puts in perspective, well, we poo-poo, oh, I can get a big hair, just give it up. Well, don't have children. That's the same thing. It's all motivated by that. That's, in my opinion, that's what rules us. Think about it, hey, guys, think about it, yeah. Boring, I know, but anyway, just saying. Okay, don't know what else to talk about now. We haven't got enough trade ideas out unless you come with a great one. I've told you the basics what I need you to learn, which is specifications, how to get it. The EJS trade for the trading room. I think you've all got the idea of that. If you haven't, we'll go again. Pleasure, you've got the time to do it. That's what we're here for. We can follow up the trades already in, but keep staring them all the time, Hope you all got your charts set up as they come through. You want to be able to read it. That's what I want to, not straight up. You're not going to change gear automatically at first, but try to put in perspective. This is not neuroscience, my friends. Changing gear when you're chatting to somebody else didn't even know you do it. It's automatic. It's muscle memory. I'll just pick one out of the blue. We'll do it this way, out of the blue. Okay. First, I look at that in the daily. I make sure it's a daily. Sell zone. Ooh, bloody hell, it's broken through. Is it worth chasing? Looking for a sell clearly. Ooh, I'm not sure about this. Has it? No, bit of resistance here. Let's have a look at this. Bit of resistance here. Too late to chase. Private 4 hour. Yep, too late to chase. Never mind. Move on. General idea. You should get up with a bit of practice. You can look at a chart and see immediately where you waste your time. Move on to the next one, like a headline in a newspaper. I go this morning. I start up here and I go bang bang. Well, not the shares, by the way. The forex and the commodities go bang 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 bang. Oh, this looks right. Have a look, dig deeper into it, write it down to be discussed further. On I'll go. I can knock this lot off literally in 5 or 6 minutes max. No problem to what, maybe a little, I don't know, but not long. And that's nothing to be clever. It's just practice doing it over again and keeping it simple. That's what you get. The last thing you want to spend the next half hour looking at CAD CHF, and by the time you get to the, I don't know, CAD JPY or something, the bloody ship sailed because you're spending too much time on something that's basically a waste of time. Get my idea? So that's why I'm doing it. And you'll get guys who'll swear by when the 21 across the 15 moving average and the MACD is showing below 30 and relative strength is start to turn down. And all that, yeah, pleasure. If it turns you on, great. My problem with that is all lagging. RSI is now telling you, I can get information immediately just looking at the candle. Why then after that? Because I know what that will do. I know what the RSI, MACD, stochastic, God knows what else, I know what we're going to do. They're going to be pointing down because the price action's coming off. I don't have to look at them. I'll know that immediately because you can see those candles that are down. It's moving down. You don't need the RSI to say it's coming. You can see it. Remember the barometer, and it's raining. Stand there in the rain, look at your indicators. Rather put the indicator down, put your raincoat on. And buy long on bad weather and sell short on good weather. Yeah, that's a good question there. Pick one. I'll tell you what, pick one for me. There you are, Willem. Tap out one, pick one for me. There you are, and we'll go into it together. They're up. Stick one down or unmute. Give me a symbol. We'll do it. If I say instruments, short for financial instruments, a symbol will do. Or concerning, put any you like. Call it donkey, thank you, shukran, merci beaucoup, don't care. As long as we're all on the same page. Euro GBP. First of all, check daily, right? If you want to click on there, by the way, that put all in alphabetical order. That little symbol, little triangle there, click on that, pointing upwards in alphabetical. Where's it? Euro GBP. Where is it now? Oh, here we go. Euro GB, that's right. Daily charts. I'd like to see a little what's going on there. Put it out a bit, yeah. Right. First thing I look at, where's the 200? Can't see it. Ah, down here. Right, clear the buy zone. What I want to do with this, buy it, unless I think it's overvalued. I don't think the euro is overvalued. That takes a bit of knowledge. Keep an eye on world affairs. You know what I mean? That's fundamentals, okay? I just happen to know the euro is pretty strong. I know, again, without looking at the chart, the pound has strengthened a bit because the expectation interest rate increases because it's got the highest inflation rate in Europe, America, well, let's call it the developed world, for want of a better word, etc. And never mind that, far higher than South Africa, etc. So the expectation interest rate, the current inflation, kicked in a stronger pound. When you increase interest rate, you normally get, not always, but normally get a stronger currency. The euro is getting its act under control. Lagarde, Christine Lagarde, not talking about charts, I'm just talking the background you pick up as you go along. Christine Lagarde, she's the president of the ECB, the European Central Bank, and so far she seems to be doing a pretty good job. She's a lawyer, just out of interest by trade, just by the by, don't have to know that. Not an economist, but she obviously knows enough about economy to move on from there. But anyway, they seem to like what she's doing, and the Eurozone is starting to get a bit of strength. So I don't think as yet it's overvalued. It could get up here. So it's not so high, it's getting overvalued to pull back. So now I look at this, I found the 200 is down there. So ascertain, remember, just put it on there, drag it down like that. So you can ascertain the buy zone. Have we got any resistance here? I'll see that very quickly because I do all the time. I'm just pointing out slowly what I look at. Measure resistance. Now I look at the candle. As it goes up, the sellers come in. 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 This is a good question now, if you get what I'm talking about, because this is really what I do. This is what I do, yeah. And once you get that crack, you're on your way, my friend. All right, so now I've seen that. So, yeah, it's backing to break up. So do I want to buy it now? It's backing to break up. That's only 12 pips away on a daily, not a 15-minute, a daily. Not sure I want to chase it now. So I might chase if it breaks this guy here and buy it back up here with my TP up there. But even that's not really cutting it. I want a little bit more of a TP. Can we cut it up there? Yeah, we can find, definitely. We'd have to aim there to get it. So that's why we thought, aha, this is going to be okay. And that's why we thought that's a good one to buy. We checked the 4 hour. It's holding nicely there. So we saw some upside. It was a bit pulled back a bit. It was a bit, what's the price anyway? Euro GBP. What now? Where are you? Euro GBP, yes, 36. It pulled back enough to round about this level here, 88.36. Oh, that's right, down here. Somewhere, what's it daily? So we're doing the daily one. Down here, that's right, somewhere around about there. It was holding and starting to bounce up. So we've got some movement up there that can be taken out further up. And we have the stop loss below this one and this one down here somewhere. So we're nicely protected. It's got to break through this guy and this guy to get to our stop. That's the idea behind it. Okay. Maybe I went a bit quickly there, but that's a general idea. Okay, so pick another on that subject. Let's pick the Euro NZD. Willem and Company, look at this. Is this in the buy zone, the sell zone? Does anybody think that's in the sell zone? Anybody? Don't have to say no. Anybody think this is in the sell zone? Please say yes. Give me a few more minutes. We've had that before as well, and need to sort this out up front. Okay, we'll realize that's in the buy zone. Now, the next thing is, do we want to chase at this level? It's had 1, 2, 3, 4 days moving up nearly 300 pips. There might be some sellers taking profit. Remember, when you take profit, guys, what do you do to take profit? You sell. What does that affect on the price? All due respect, Willem, Mark, Roger, Nikki, Brian, Joe, Mary, whatever. I get it. No, you won't alone. But collectively, there's going to be around the world a lot of TPs settled around there somewhere, which means near those highs, near the ceiling, shall we say, and they're going to get triggered. And other guys' man will be closing. All those will be sell ordered. When you buy, TP and SL to sell order. That should bring it down. That's the theory. So going to buying it right now, let's see if we can find some more upward movement. Let's try the monthly. Yep, we've still got some to aim at and get back up here. That's nearly 500 pips away. We could maybe aim here. That's only 300 pips away, even maybe aim here. That's too close. Yeah, we could maybe aim here. So we've got some upside to go. But if we take the weekly again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's had a continual upward movement of 730 pips. It could be getting exhaustion pullback. You see what I'm thinking here? So would I chase this level? Where do you want to buy it, Willem & Company? Near the floor at aim of the ceiling, or near the ceiling at aim of the ceiling? It's looking, it could be break through the ceiling. I don't know that, but I'm thinking, I don't know it's going to break through the ceiling. Look up. You think it's going to break the ceiling yet? You're not sure. It might do. I'd rather wait till it pulls back and has another go before I buy it near the ceiling. It might not come to the floor, but it might not come all the way back down here somewhere. It might do, we don't know. But if it comes down here and it's still strong, the euro, maybe we can get another buy on it. But at the moment, I think we're chasing it pretty near the ceiling. So from that point of view, I wouldn't do it. Does that make sense? And always have a stop loss and correct position size calculator. Always have it in case you're wrong. And not you're wrong in case it just pushes up to some fundamental or whatever. You don't know that that little company started the garage 20 years ago is going to be $1 trillion seller. So just always have your stop loss in plan. Okay, Coney, you know some of this stuff anyway. So it's not a problem. Good stuff. Hope you're all good with that. Okay, I'll take another one. GBP, let's do this one. GBP AUD, I'll just pick out arbitrarily. Where's the buy zone? Clear's in the buy zone. Is it breaking above? I'm seeing immediately in the buy zone. I want to buy it. So weekly, so sorry, go back to the daily, beg your pardon. Still in the buy zone. It's above there. Here it's a buy. Trouble is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. It didn't break through that ceiling. How far is the ceiling away? 50 odd pips. The risk reward ain't worth it. Not enough meat in the bones. Leave it. Move along. Right, next one. You get the general idea. Bit of practice. Trust me, I like the word changing gear. I'm presuming you've got a car. If you've got an automatic, that's form of theory. But I'm sure you, when you took your driving test, you had a manual. And now I can chat to you, you change gear, and you don't even know you're doing it. I'm habit. It's when you get overcomplicated. Are we getting negative version of the oscillator on this one? Maybe we should change the algorithms on this, and when it crosses that one on there, and bring up the Heike Macho, whatever it is. Maybe we should look at the Williams percentage again. What is that momentum on that? No, my stochastic is near 70%. No, it's all price action, man. It's price action. GBP USD, we're already in that, so they're not probably with me. I'm looking right for them. Now, the problem we're having at the moment, I'm 30 weeks from the pound. The dollar's the one that's giving us a jip. The dollar, I thought might hold at 101.50. Unfortunately, it's broken below that. Dollar weakness seems to be the king of the moment. Because of the weakness, one is more weak than the other. So all due respect to you little weakling, I can't kick sand in your face, even though you're a little weakling, because little weakling is me. I'm even more a little weakling, and I end up kicking sand in my face, as they say. So in other words, the dollars seem to be even more weaker of the two. Hence, we're having this problem at the moment. But they're so weak at the moment, unfortunately, that's why it's giving us sort of sideways, up and down, drifting along, jib. That's the point. So you got your stop loss in. It's still away from that. So let it drift along. We might get a bounce of the dollar. Who knows? Okay. The dollar's got to be seriously weak to take it right back to above 1.26, somewhere around about there. Really, the pound's got to really catch some fantastic news. The dollar's got to get really weak, which could happen. But I don't know, if the banks suddenly go under, then that could happen. Yeah, if suddenly get another major bank having a problem, well, you know, because they say they're okay, but how much is it because they're saying so? What's going on behind the scenes? I bet if you going behind the scenes in Eskom, you probably find it's worse shape than the public have been let know, because you don't want panic out there. But yeah, let it run. Okay. Any question, guys? The thing, once you get the basics, that's not difficult. The major difficulty in this visit is to throw those emotions by looking at the bloody price action all the time. Do what I do. Don't stare at it. Keep the bloody thing out of the way. Have a check in it now and again, clearly, but not staring at it fixatedly. That's going to get to you. The ups and downs play on your mind, and that's when you do silly things. You get fed up with it. Like most things in life, fortunately, I'm not the world's best at it. In fact, I'm far from it. So if I can do it to a certain extent, you can, because I'm one of the world's worst. Two words, really: discipline and patience, basically. And trying to handle those emotions, at least understand them anyway. That's what will help with the basics and ongoing battle with this emotional stuff. That's like go back to dopamine high. You just had 3 trades, hit the TP, you're on a high. Where's more trades? Where's more trades? Oh, I haven't got any. Oh, you'll find them. I've seen that before as well. They go back in again, put the bloody laptop down. But they're on such a high, the adrenaline is flying, the endorphins and then what's the other one? Flying all over the place. In they go. Sometimes it comes right up board and it comes back to bite. Now the depression's feeling sorry for themselves. Because you can't blame the government, you can only blame yourself. And that's as bad as it gets. But you have to blame yourself. No government, you can't blame the wife, the dog, the cat, the government, or whatever. It's only yourself. That's bad as it gets. Ah. Well, that's another one. I mean, sorry, Mark, just to tease you. He said, this thing's plummeting wherever it was. He was on the 1 minute chart. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Hey, it's going up quite nicely. That's 3 minutes. Okay. We say in the Merchant Navy, the ship gets too close on the 12-mile radar, or the 12 nautical mile radar, put it on 6 miles and look further away. But don't say that in front of the captain, might fire you. Yeah, well, there you are. On NFP day, when you put on the 1 minute, this shoot through the roof. You think you made a fortune. That's up to me. I think, this thing's doing well, and I was on the 15-minute chart. And it's only gone up 15 pips. Yeah. I very rarely look at the minute chart, to be honest. Very, very rarely. 15, not that often, the 30-minute. I don't know why, I don't anyway. No particular reason. It's 15-minute, hour, 4-day week, sometimes a month. This one is 15 minutes. Looks like the NAS is flying, doesn't it? Put on the daily. Not quite the same, is it? But I'll tell you one thing. Trying to break through, give it its due. Every time it pops up, the sellers are quick to come in. I think this thing's going to break. Doesn't mean I'm offering you a sell entry now as a short. I'm just saying I think it's going to break. If you can get a higher price, right about the 13.1, something like that, you might have missed it. Go for the short at the moment. But I think it's a bit late to chase now. I'm on board, as I say, so I think there's a good chance it might break. I hope it'll be happy days for me. But it's another one, you somehow do that, you forget. You used to look at the daily, but you had the last one you looked at on the 15-minute, you look for short. Hallelujah, get very excited. You realize, oh, that's 15 minutes. Let's put on the 5-minute, actually, see what I mean? Look at that. Hey, bloody hell, bloodbath in the NASDAQ flying off. Actually, it's only come off 80 pips. Well, that's a fair whack, but it's not a major thing on the NAS, you know. That's another point, guys. If you're going to trade the NAS or you're going to trade the Dow, even a lot of money at first time, try the micro. If you haven't got more than 5 grand, do the micro anyway. You need 200 pips stops on and extremely volatile. Just don't play around on small currency, on small balances. Your margin call is, especially opening up as 3, is a high probability. And if you haven't got the micro, it's quite simple. All you do is this. You go to the check, the bottom of your watch list, and you put in NAS, and you see the word micro. Where's micro? There you are, and click on it. If you don't see the word micro, then unfortunately you've got to go and open another account, go to the portal, choose the micro option, and open that. Problem with that account, you could only take the micro, Dow and NASDAQ, nothing else. So it's sort of keep it separate for those two and trade on the other one and feed a couple of bucks into it. Okay. If you're not sure and any problems open, that's the same way as open previous accounts, then go to your account manager. They will assist. That's their job to assist, and their details, you don't have them already on the portal. Another one I've got a few moments is don't confuse myself with the account manager. It's a different job. Like you have tech support, the account manager, you have FICA, you have all sorts of departments specialize those areas. My job is on trading support. Theirs is what we call the intermediary section of phase where they'll help you open accounts and all that sort of thing. Tech is self-explanatory, FICA is self-explanatory, etc. Doesn't matter if you do contact me or whatever, and they can't handle the point in the right direction. And just make you aware of it. Again, don't forget, we have Quick Trade, we've got Stock Market College, we've got MetaTrader 5. Totally separate companies. I don't work for Stock Market College, separate company. So I can point in the right direction, SMC, but I can't advise you on it. It's nothing to do with me. They can't advise on a trade, nothing to do with it. And MetaTrader 5, British company, got tentacles all over the place, mainly Australia, Europe, etc. We use them like a lot of brokers. So next time you get any data problems, we're on it to chase and sort it out, but that's all we can do. You know, we can't say how long, I have no idea. Why is it happening? I don't know. Go and make an international phone call to MetaTrader. We probably get Snap on the line because they're busy on it. Don't sell them a data stock because they bloody well know that. Because it's not the only broker using it. A large amount out there. And use the guys worry about their 20 rand up and down. Those guys there, very large accounts that take extreme stress. Oh yeah, I think you've all got my number, haven't you? Let's put it down. I think you all have. I'll put it down just in case. WhatsApp this is. Don't cat phone if you like, but prefer the WhatsApp, it gets busy. And try and keep it on point. I don't worry about them. Sometimes I put them in, not that often. You have sometimes channels like this one. Put one in for you now. So like a channel there. Use the body channel there, and where is it now? Here we are. Normally it's an up channel. It breaks to the downside. Okay, and it breaks the downside, breaks through there. You short it down, and you'd aim down here. There's another one for you. But that's not going to, yeah, I'm not really here to teach you all the as for the classes. But I do that occasionally. Sending triangle, occasionally flag, sending. Mine's pretty simple, to be honest. They like me, Philip. Probably because I'm simple. Bounces off a moving average here, in a long, retraced, long as I can see. Let's say it's the euro. I don't know, against a weaker currency like the AUD or whatever. Euro is clear at the moment. At the moment, could change in a month's time. Stronger than the two. It's come back, bouncing off. I put a stop there, take it up to the next high. Not that much more complicated. And to be honest, I've tried all sorts of fancy things over the years. I find this works, so why complicate unnecessarily? The channel one. Consolidated channel indicators, another bloody one. But anyway, that's quite useful as well. It breaks there, you can see it happened, yeah. Use that just an example because you can see it quite clearly. Fibonacci I quite like. If you want to buy it, you can do a fib where you do from the bottom upwards. Here's the fib there. Sorry, this thing's getting in the way, hang on. Maybe a bounce off a fib there, you can have it. But this, the moment, I'm not worried about this one here. I'm thinking more range trade. You see that? I'd rather just put a horizontal line in here, round about there, and another horizontal line in there, round about there. That seems to be a range. Till it breaks above or below. Obviously, I think it's going to break below, but I could be wrong. Trade that range. Don't get cute to sell it down there at the bottom of the range. You could bounce. It's done that in the last 3 weeks. What makes you think it's going to change now? I'll tell you what, it's the biggest tip I can give you guys. Go out and get an online course and try and get a degree in common sense. I don't think there are any out there. It's a bit of a pity. That's something we should be teaching everybody first thing at school. Before we do anything else, how to fix a car, basic economics and sodding common sense. Probably all three would do far better than knowing the year the young friend Riebeck came in, or the Battle of Hastings, or William of Normandy, or 55 BC, Julius Caesar invades Britain. Nice to know, great, might get you a point in quiz nights, but not sure much commercial effect. Get the idea. And again, Human Motion Filament Company, because it's new, it's going to look a real fearfully difficult. I bet you're a neurosurgeon. You first look at a motor car. Hey, God, that looks difficult. Nah, because it's new. That's my job, to try and take out the mystique. Too many people like it makes them feel like a pub. You know, use nice long words. Nobody understands. You know, very clever, this guy. Yeah. Trying to get you to get the concept. Once you get the concept, it's number crunching, and it's usually emotional concept. NZD, better price to get in, or is I going against the idea? Good question, Mr. Shearer. Good question. If you're not in already, don't double up. I know you know that, but people do. If you get a trade idea and they're already in it, go and do it again. Now they're 100% overexposed. I'm still happy with the short on it. Better price. What will we get in there? NZD JPY 46. What? Yeah, got a little bit higher up, even better. No, I'm still happy with the short. Very much so, yeah. And that's another point. Yes, to answer your question. Sorry, Mark. Yes, I do think it's a good idea. Yeah. Another point. Don't forget, if you get a trading signal to sell short at 82.45, and you want to do it, and you like the trade, and it says 82.65, clearly you don't put a sell stop in. You go in at market because it's a better price. Understand, Willem and Company, Nikki? In other words, I'd like to buy your house, Nikki. I'll offer you £1 million for it. And Nikki says, no, I'm going to be honest with you. It's valued at 900 grand. I'm happy to say 900 grand. Oh, no, Nikki, no. I'm going to give you £1 million whether you like it or not. Nikki will probably scratch her head and say, thanks very much. And, extraordinary fella, crazy man. You get the idea. So don't, if it's a better price, use the same SMTP and you get a better risk reward. Absolutely. I'm not sure whether it's going to get stronger. It's pretty strongish at the moment. I take your point entirely. And again, I know the government does like a slightly weaker yen, but the NZD is particularly weak. The NZD and the AUD, normally actually, are the strongest or the weakest currencies. They're opposite really to the Swiss franc, which is completely stable. Their sine curve is very different to Swiss franc. You know, sine curve up and down, much higher highs and higher lows on the Antipodes currencies compared to the Swiss franc. And technically speaking, it's still in the sell zone. I see no evidence to change my mind on it. Hence, that's the reason. You won't see me change my mind until it gets above 200 knots. Oh, I mean, sorry, Mark. I meant the other way around. Sorry, it's undervalued. I meant to buy it. Beg your pardon. Oh, no, you're already in. Oh, no, I'm sorry about that, Mark. He's going to shoot me one day, I tell you. He's going to get his private aircraft, which I haven't told any of you about. He does. He's got a private bloody jet. He's going to fly down. He's going to pump me out and shoot me. No, I'm happy with it. Yeah, sure, it's fine. It's nothing to do with the price of eggs. But my sister and her husband are in Cape Town at the moment, by the way. Just out of completely disinterested you. I just thought I'd regale you with that. That's probably a better deal, yeah. Mind you, with me, you get teased, but there you might lose your buddy, you get shot at. It might be a hit on you. No, I'm afraid to say I'm not a roughy toughy. You don't play around with these gangs, no. Don't watch Ross Kemp on gangs. Life is pretty cheap for them. Much more money, yeah. Yeah, it was indeed. Tell you what, yeah, in Ross Kemp, we used to be actually what do you call it, a soapy star for EastEnders in the UK. And he left there and he's done a lot of Ross Kemp on gangs and things like that around the world. And he really gets in there, you know, and yeah, it's quite good. Pretty scary, actually. It's the complete lack of value of life. Introduce people, obviously they got hoods on and change their voice. Who admit, yeah, their job is to go and like kill people. That does surprise me. Well, I'm completely shocked at that. Zuman and the Gupta, surely not. No. Yeah. No surprise there either. Now, that's what shook me. I didn't think about it, just pointed out. Probably told them to listen, I don't know. When, what's his name, De Ruyter came up, it was gang ridden in Eskom. That really put the shivers up, because then it becomes a completely different story. That's how Russia's run. It's completely run by gangsters. I tell you what, anyone's a whistleblower has to be one of the most courageous guys in them, because these guys can have the money, have the expertise, have the professional assassins to take you out. You'd need the security that maybe a president of the United States has. Unless he goes in as a whistleblower, keeps his sort of identity completely anonymous. Hey, whoa. Come on, guys, we all think we like to do what's right. Putting the guns against your head and maybe not so much. No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry, but times like I think best one would be a coward. Well, just be honest with yourself. I would be, haven't you? Mind you say that, guy, we're off the subject here. I still think leaving as a gang lord, you know, what you call the cartel, and that's the way to leave either. Money coming in, but it won't do much. Do you need 16 aircraft? One will do, you know. And number two, everybody's vying. One moment of weakness or thoughtless or anything like that, and they're going to gun you down and take your place. Do you want to live like that? They've got my private 2-3 yachts, private 2-3 aircraft, my private mansion in wherever it happens to be. And all the time I can't step outside and look around or whatever, in case a bomb, or maybe because even one of the trusted guys is offered 10 million or something to shoot me, they will do. You don't trust anybody, you're in a complete paranoid state. You're paranoid nutcase in bloody luxury. Yeah, it is hectic, but it's I read quite a few books on stuff like that and around the world, and yeah, I come back. That's dopamine thing. I reckon that never mind heroin. I think power seems to be the number one stimulator of dopamine, because it seems to be when it comes down to it, power's where it's at. I'm like the billionaire. I mean, we don't need $1 billion. Actually, don't really need $10 million. Never mind 100 or a billion. So it's power. Anyway, okay, well, just a quick, before we close up, let's have a look. Anything happening on ADJPY? If you just entered today, it's starting to go in the right direction. ADJPY, not much happening, but it's holding below the 50, so maybe we'll come right there. Euro GBP, anything good happening there? URGBP got in at 36, come off a bit, but still it's in a profit. Bit quiet today. Euro dollar got in around about 1.1ish. That's doing quite well now, eh? 1.106 is the signal. That's okay. Thank you, Ken. He's not even on today. That's probably the best signal so far, and I won't even bloody well mind. Damn him, and damn him again. Well done, Mr. Ken. Right, 20 pips in profit. Yeah, no, don't modify it yet. Or maybe reduce your risk by modifying it, but don't get it up to market entry yet. Not market, meaning you don't get up to entry because it's going to be too close. US dollar CAD, we just got into that, so leave that for a moment. Goals, it's still hovering around. We want the mafias to kick it up. It's trying to move back up. Sorry about that. You want to get 78, Vicky? I think it's you. $5 up. I gave him a reason. I'm leaning to the upside, but I've been nervous to get in on it. It seems to move in that direction, but that could change anyway. GBP USD, giving us some problems there. It's sideways. It's nothing really disastrous. What about good friend NGAS? Look at it once a month and see what's happening here. Hovering, doing squat. This makes somebody sloth think fast moving. Microsoft's coming off, that's good. Pretty much sideways. I'll just quickly check on the economy. Anything much happening tomorrow? Just give me a moment, check on the other screen. Holiday in Kiwi land and Aussie. Let's see, get this guy out of the way so we can see what's going on. New home sales, reasonably important tomorrow in the US. That's about it tomorrow. Wednesday. What happened on Wednesday? Durable goods. Be quiet actually. Wednesday, Thursday, normal jobless claims weekly. Another home sales one in the US. About all. Maybe that's right. Oil inventories will come out. Wednesday, don't forget. Thursday, I mentioned. Friday, anything big on Friday? Yeah, there's a couple coming on Friday. We'll worry about it when we get to it. So it's not exactly that packed full we had before. I still think till we get this interest rate come back thing sorted out, let's get a drift of it. But there's more and more people in American institutions shouting recession. And I've mentioned that a couple of times on here. So be careful of big positions going long on shared indices. Rather look at the short side. I think we're backed up as we speak at the moment. It's trying to break through. See, it's trying to break through. Every time it pops up, the sellers come in, trying to break through. Should be doing all right, actually. Yeah, nearly $3 grand. That's all right. Anyway, just sick to see how they do it. Can you imagine what great phase they will be if they play? Interesting situation there. I'd read a long time ago, Mark, about a guy who stole the Eiffel Tower to a very intelligent, obviously he's a self-made millionaire. And they reckon if he'd put that expertise into the legal area, he would have been a multi-millionaire, successful legal person. But that's illegal bent, so he deployed his expertise in doing something illegal. So that's just the way the mind goes, folks. Yeah, it's upside down because we're driven by power and the endorphin and the chemical neurons running around. Ask people in the chemical business on that. We're not driven by a rational. I'm convinced of it. That's why we all do daft things. It's our emotion taking over. Come on, guys, it's facts, yeah.
Sorry, Roger, can I
Roger.
ask you something?
But obviously, yes, absolutely, Nikki, brilliant.
I think you answered this, but just to ask again, I just wanted to ask what, and I could be playing into the whole emotion thing, but what do you do, for example, if you see a trade kind of going against you? Would you like, for example, like the AUD GPY or the GBP USD, would you change your stop loss, or would you just kind of wait until see how it does like throughout the day?
That's a very valuable question. I wish more people spoke up like this, because this is one of the major problems in people who start trading. They go into flat panic. You see, I've had this up and looking at it and moved it down out of the way. I'll ask that question very straightforward. First of all, before you go into a trade, you have a strategy. If you haven't got one, come to the trade room and we'll give them to you. So you've got your stop loss and TP. That's your strategy. You're still in the trade. So when it goes against you, you're still in. You've worked it out. You've got your calculator. And you say to yourself, before I go into that trade, I've worked it out. Before I press the button, if it goes and hits my stop loss, I'm going to lose X rand. Can I handle? You talk to yourself. Nikki, I'm Nikki now. Nikki, I'm on my own. Nikki, can I handle this? Let's say it's 200 rand, give a figure. Yes, I can. If it hits that stop loss, will I jump out the building, kick the dog or whatever? No, I won't. I'll be annoyed, but I can handle it. Fine. Then you press the button. Then you're in. And then the ups and downs you can handle because you're within that mental comfort zone, if you like, that if it is stopped out, that's the worst it can be. Now it goes in against you and it's nearing the stop loss. That you don't want to take a loss, purely emotion. So what do? You modify the stop loss away. So all the calculations you did on your risk calculator are now all up to maggots, all out the window now, if you worked it out on the stop loss at that level. Anyway, it's bound to bounce because Roger's a good lad. He wouldn't let me down. He knows what's going on out there. He's got an inside red telephone through to Powell. He knows what's going on. These are little chips in the mile. I'll move it down. Hang on, I might even buy some more. Now you're not only grossly overexposed, you're grossly exposed in a loss. Now you're getting frightened. Now it's 500 rand, 200 your comfort zone. You're way out of it. You're not thinking, you're panicking. What do I do, Roger? As if I could wave a magic wand. No, I can't. I would say, put a stop loss, don't touch it. At least you'll learn 600 or no, but if I lose 500 or 600 rand, I get out now. I've lost too much. I can't afford that. Well, can you afford to lose more? These irrational go in because your mind's not thinking correctly because you didn't stick to the discipline of the rules. The only time you move your stop is to reduce risk. So you're going to go into this one right now as a buy, right? You're going to buy this one for argument's sake. Never mind what the trade I do. You're going to buy it. And you see the stop losses down there and it starts moving up there. And let's say it's gone up by 50 pips. Now make it 20 pips. Gone up by 20 pips. You can, if you like, maybe move your stop loss up by 20 pips. You'll still take a loss, but instead of maybe 200 rand, it might be 150 rand rather than 60 rand. You're reducing your risk until it's gone up enough that you don't get your stop loss too close. I repeat, do not get the stop loss too close. The last thing you want to be stopped out by the noise and you're not on board when it hits the TP. So you moved up again until it's up here somewhere, 70, 80 pips in profit, and your stop loss is maybe 30 pips below market. So if you're stopped out, you're still going to make maybe 50 pips. If it carries on, you'll make more. That's the way you should be doing it. Does that make sense, or have I missed something there?
Okay, that makes sense. And for example, like if I was in a cell, could you just do that example like with the cell?
Okay, I'll do it again because I'm in one of them now. It might be the same one. Look at that. Now, there's a good example. All right, I've only got, remember, I've got a reasonable size, not a big account, a reasonable size account, about 6 figures or something like that anyway. Now, I work on 2% maximum, sometimes 1.5. I can afford to do that. You can't on a very small account. You've got to do a maximum 10%. Okay, simply because of the size of the account. So I've got, well, I could go bigger, but I go 0.1. I know a lot of guys, much smaller accounts than me, go bigger figures because they haven't worked that out. I've got only 0.1, which is 1 mini in there. Now, that was literally about 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, this figure was 300. Did I go into panic? No, I said, I went on, I've been trading them out, etc. One of the things I don't like a lot of guys who are giving advice is to trade because they say they're too interested in their own trades. And I'm thinking about you guys. Well, I'm maybe a bit more experienced now. I've got my stop loss in a B before, just get it out of the way. I don't know what's going on till it was mentioned. Now that was down 300. So I'm not in a panic now, 48 now as we're speaking. You see what I mean? I know if I get stopped out, it's going to be within my risk profile, so be it. Most of them don't, and most of them have stopped out the profit. I want to get away from this habit, Vicky. I'm glad you asked. I want everyone to hear this. Holding on to the losses because you're right to take the loss and taking the profits too quick. If you do that, you've got to win about 7, 8, 9 trades for every one you lose, which is highly virtually almost impossible to even break even because you're taking such massive knocks on the loss because you're holding on, modifying, etc., and then you're taking your profit too quick. We've put on the risk reward a minimum 1.5 for a reason, but most people trade is the other way around. They're risking 100 pips, soon it gets 20 pips in profit, they take it. So that's like a 4 to 1 against. It's completely the wrong way around. Again, that's the emotion taking over. They're scared to be taken away from them in a profit. They grab it too quickly, or when it goes against, they're too scared to take the loss. They hold, they hold, they hold, they hold, and then got hold of me and said, "No, you got to take it. Look, the momentum is down. I think it's going to get worse. Oh, I can't take that loss. Oh, so you can't take this loss, you can take a bigger one. Is that what you're saying? Again, the rational doesn't work, it's all emotion. To save from that, you work, you get your calculator out, and you say, what is my account? What am I prepared to risk? Don't overexpose. And then, am I happy with my head? I'm going to use the word 500. If you're happy with 500 Rand risk per instrument, if you're in 4, you're risking 2,000, remember. You're handling it mentally, fine. Then you're not. You can do what I'm doing now, just bung it down here, out the bloody way, not looking every 5 seconds. So you concentrate, chit-chatting in here, trying to help you guys, etc. Getting to understand the emotional part, because this is where the stinker in trading is, without doubt. I would say, not 90, I'd say close to 97, 98%. Incorrect position size and emotion is why clever, intelligent, knowledgeable people lose. They've done the course, they've read the books, they've attended this, they've done all that. Why are they battling? Is it the signals? No, it's they haven't got an understanding of the emotional concept. That's why I strongly, strongly recommend people to use the demo purely to try a new strategy and fully understand the platform. Don't trade, because you will learn nothing without that emotion, because that's what separates the men from the boys. I always say it's like professional sport. A lot of guys can play pretty damn good golf, football, or whatever, but when it's a penalty shootout in the World Cup final, can they take that kind of pressure? The guys that can, the one that gets the millions. You get the idea? Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. This is the risk calculator on MT5. This is the one you go to. Thought you all had it. Sorry. This is the one you get. Not for shares. Repeat, not for shares. You find that in your LMS and Stock Market College. Go to Stock Market College. They'll produce it for you. That's for shares. Everything else but shares. Go to the live chat. Go to the tech support. Get it loud. Download on your computer, and it appears in Navigator. There's Navigator. View Navigator. There you are, and it will appear there. So you just double click on it. Oh, but I'm trading off a phone. Well, you shouldn't be. If you want to make money in this business, you need knowledge, you need the right technical, you need the right equipment, and you need the capital. Phone ain't going to cut it. It's there as a backup when you're out and about to modify and close. Okay, put an order in. But never mind, you got it. That's where it is. You will have to go to the App Store. We don't have it for the phone. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Well, that's how much total account? Right, I reckon anything below about 2,000, 2,500, say 2,000, you've got to go 10%. Otherwise, if you go any smaller than that, you can't get a trade in. I'll give an example. If you've got 500 Rand in your account, very rarely you're going to get anything that is going to give you a risk of about 10 Rand. See, in fact, very rarely you get 50. So even 500 Rand, you can't really trade, because 50 Rand is 10% of 500. And very rarely you're going to get a forex trade signal that's going to be 50 Rand, usually more. So by definition, you're overexposed. I say about 10%. Once you go over 2.5, say, you maybe knock it off down to about 7. Once you get about 5 grand, about 5%, maybe drop it to 4 at 10. Once you get up to 25 to 50, maybe 3%. Once you go over 50 grand, 2%. The international recommended norm is 2%. But unfortunately, because of the extremely low amounts of money flying around in this country as regards to trading balances, you can't work on those 2%. You just get the trade. It's just too small. You won't be able to trade. So yeah, that's the. And once you go really big, most people can go 1%, but you can't on such tiny amounts. So you have to break the rules a bit. But that's it. Okay, that's sort of general idea. In other words, figures. Maybe 2.5 grand, maybe 250, 2 to 250 Rand maximum. If you're in a trade right now and you're more than 250 Rand down and you're still nowhere near your stop loss and 2.5 grand balance, you're grossly overexposed. I reckon 5 grand, 300 Rand, maybe 320, 10 grand, round about the 550 mark per trade, you know, is your risk value. You get the general idea. And I've seen guys there with 10, 15 grand, and they're down 3 or 4 grand on one trade. No stop loss. And yeah, no, that's the way to blow your account. And they don't want to do that. They're getting margin pulled. They're scared. They put more money in. They're sending good money after bad. You can't tell them because it's emotion. This is the way. Unfortunately, this is like a profession. You've got to be disciplined on it and not try to build Rome in a day. Everyone wants to have the Ferrari Learjet tomorrow. I'm sorry, unless you've got a couple of 100 million or 10 million or whatever you got, you've got to build it, and it will not be done throwing everything into the game, hoping it comes right in the prayer. No, you've got to do it on a professional basis. If you've got a tiny amount, expect to it a long time because your percentages work in that factor. Remember, 1,000 Rand is 1%. 1,000 Rand is 1,000. It's 1% of 100,000 Rand, right? But it's 10% of 10,000, but it's 100% of 1,000. So you've got £1,000 and you want to make 1,000 Rand. You've got to make 100% profit, and that's hectic. Just based on that sort of percentage principle and puts things in better perspective. Because I'm sure people are not looking at it at all. They're looking purely of, I want to get from A to B in 5 seconds flat, and they're going all in on it, and it comes off brilliant. But if it doesn't, then they're not a happy chappy. Basic arithmetic and percentages. And that's also true, Marley. But then you're thinking, I know what we do for a living. Sound might be in some sort of, I don't know what do you do for a living, Marley? Are you an accountant or something? Yeah, be quite right. Maybe it's at the top of the accountant, but maybe it's sort of mathematically thinking a bit. But yeah, that's correct. And remember, even if you can afford it, start getting to 6, 7. This is very practiced. It's not they used to monitor so many. Normally say about 5. Well, thank you. Good. I normally say about 5. I have gone into more, to be honest, but that's I'm doing every day, you know. But 5, because you've got to monitor them, you know, not just affordability, you've got to monitor them. And then suddenly things happen, you panic, you press the wrong button, you're out the wrong one, you're in there, and then you move the stop loss on the wrong one, and suddenly clips it. What happened there? Oh, I meant to be 1.125, not 0.1225 or whatever. And why am I stopped out? Because you put it too close because you did the wrong figures and panic or whatever. You're going to go to new trade, small thing as well. Now we can do that. It's 1/2 already. New trade here. We're going to do this one. Put up the thing we do here, just a second. Put it up here. Don't rush it. Is it marked execution or a pending? No, marked execution. What is my volume? Check again. Yes, correct. Don't worry about stop loss and TP. You worked out the volume. Is it buy or sell? Buy. Then you can buy. Now you can put the stop loss and TP straight away if you want, but if it's moving quickly, don't rush it. Make sure the volume's right, then buy it or sell it correctly. Then you go to this thing here. I know we're going over time. I'll do this properly. Then you go here and you just double click. This one is an EJS one. Doing all right. This is an EJS as far as I know. Stop loss. Is that correctly modeled? I'll just check the stop loss actually. 6566. 6566. That's wrong. I haven't got a trading stop, that's why. Tell you it's trading stop and I haven't got it. And then you modify it. See, let's do it again. So I'm going to modify 30 pips below that. 6533. Is that right? What's there? Why is that? Am I wrong way around? Probably. I'm selling it. So I'm needed above here, dickhead. You're a fool. 0.65. .65, make it 95. There we are. Actually 93, beg your pardon, do that now. Just come down a little bit, there we are. You have a trading stop, but I don't. Now I just modified it quickly, kept it 30, because this is the momentum strategy, not the normal one. Okay, I think this one must be as well. I haven't got this, I've got a TP in there, okay, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, and just modify there, just double click, you put your stop in, and then double click, and double click, put the TP in, click there, and that's entered after you've entered the trade, because you don't want to spend half an hour trying to put SL and TP, the thing shooting your direction, and you're missing out. Do you understand what I'm saying? New order, you've worked out your volume, don't rush it, great, go in the buy or sell, and then just double click and put your TP and SL in after. That just means because now you're in and you can relax and put them in properly. You don't forget. Don't forget, Nikki's new here, might not know this, you can partly close. It's getting near the high or the low or wherever the target, but it could get some more. I can modify my TP. Let's say we're going long on this, and here's your TP. You can modify it upwards, modify your stop here, and maybe bank a couple to be safe. So what you do, you see where volume is, double click. Instead of closing it, I'm going to modify, I'm not going to, but let's pretend I am. I'm going to modify 0.02. There we are. So put 0.02 in, click on the close, bang, that will change to 0.03, and I'm in 0.02. You can partially close as well. So the idea behind, let's say you're going long, you can see what I'm doing here more clearly. You're going in here, it's your stop entry here. It's moving up. You move this up, you move this up, and then it's getting pretty high. You move your TP out of the way, getting a bit nervous. You partially close. You start over 6. Now you've got 3 micros or whatever. Up a bit more, maybe close another. So you're only left with 1 micro. Keep moving the TP out of the way, the stop loss, until eventually you stop out. If you haven't got the time to do it, well, make the time. You've got a phone. Even a boardroom meeting, take your ear off something and go below, back below the table there, or take a loo break, tap, 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 or whatever, you know. But yeah, that's do it. But this modifying away, I can't take the, and then getting out too quickly, too close stop loss, because all emotional panic, this has got to be conquered with discipline. Quickly get on top of that, spend more time on that and getting all sorts of stochastics and all that, you know. All of that will put you a step ahead, because this is where the problems come in. This emotional. I tell you, I hate to say this, guys, before we knock off, 90% of the time, the natural thing to do is the wrong thing to do. Unfortunately. Okay, guys, we had a bit of a long chat there. I hope there's some value to you. I hope you're too bored with it. If you are, you're a masochist because you're still there. Most of them left, so these guys all got bored and they left. There were a few people left. We didn't have new trades going out. I just want to get this concept across, because once these constructs, it's been to me, nothing new on this I haven't done myself. It separates the winners from the losers. Once they get the idea of this, I understand that he's going on too much, go in their own direction. Please do, it's your choice, fair enough. But looking, because I've got access to it all, the guys who don't go, don't take it on, don't get the concept, and usually the guys who pay the winners. It's a zero-sum game. Losers pay the winners. It's the same throughout life. Get these concepts and you'll start thinking, hang on, this could work. Okay. All right, guys, catch you next time. Thanks, Nikki. If you can make it more often, all the better. Catch you. Cheers.